Hey all, my name is Kurt and I'm here with Trenton. Welcome to SLB Basement Bourbon Bar. And today, Trenton, I put out 4 brand new bottles to us to see what we think about them. Good, bad, indifferent, just okay? We're going to find out.
Well, I'm glad you said to us because I know that the 2XO, this is the Innkeeper's Blend, has been out for a little while. This Bernheim's been out since I think it was like A223 or whatever, so it's been out since February.
Yeah, but we get these so late in our area.
Indiana.
We usually don't get them until a couple months after that.
Yeah, a lot of releases, like we see them come out on different apps and news websites and like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, we'll keep an eye out for it a month from now, 2 months from now maybe. So this one just hit like a couple weeks ago.
Sure.
And I know about that one. I don't know what else you have up here.
Yeah. Yeah, some of you've never seen.
No, I'm slightly concerned.
I have a routine, and I know that shocks you, but I do. The new bottles that you bring down and or I purchase are in my office.
They go through like a vetting process?
They kind of like a holding area.
Purgatory.
Until we get them on the show. And boy, they pile up sometimes. And I just think it was the best way to get multiples out here at one time. Let's go through them. Let's check it out. See what they're like.
Well, I know your office is kind of secret, so when you're walking around in there, you hear bottles clanging around. There's a couple in there on the floor and all over the place.
They are,
and I don't even know what you have in there anymore.
But they're in separate piles. See, I got it all. It's all right here.
Oh, interesting.
It's all right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be cool to kind of dive into a couple of these and see what they're all about. I do see. I was kind of reading the back of this label here. You got a rye in here, so
I usually do that for you.
Taking care of me a little bit. I see.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see if you like that one. It's a little bit different, but we'll get that in a second. Let's get into this first one. You should be. Let's get into this first one. This first one was actually given to us by Alex.
Oh, thanks, Alex.
So thank you so much, buddy, for that. We appreciate it. This is from Sugarhouse Distillery. They're out of Utah.
Oh, Utah.
Yeah,
out of Utah. Boilermaker would have been like a Purdue kind of thing.
Okay, well, I'm glad you went there because that's part of the story.
Oh, cool.
This is actually their Boilermaker series, all right? And this is number 6 of that series. So what they do, they've got a neat little thing going on in their area. So once their bourbon has been aged and then emptied, they send their used barrels to local breweries, which then use it for their beer. And once they're done with it, they send it back to Sugarhouse Distillery. So this particular bottle and all the bottles in this series has been finished basically in their bourbon / then beer barrels.
It's kind of like a cool life cycle of stuff.
It is. It's pretty neat. So I have to admit, though, you know me, Trent, I'm not a big beer fan.
I was just going to mention that. I'm surprised.
I know.
I'm surprised.
Well, I want to get it out there. Alex was kind enough to give it to us. Plus, you have some beer every once in a while. Not a lot, but every once in a blue moon. But I did want to check it out. This is $65 and it's 100 proof.
Okay.
All right. So price not too bad.
So this is their own stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this is 75% corn, 20% rye, 5% malted barley. I don't know if you said that already.
I did not, and I couldn't read that.
It's nice that they got.
You gave me $100. Yeah. I couldn't see it. So.
You know what this smells like?
What's that?
Like we've gone on a couple distillery tours in the past.
Okay.
Like when you go through like the areas where they have like the fermenters and stuff. Sometimes they'll let you take a little dip and like the finger and taste it, but like the smell is like this is really reminiscent of like that experience.
Wow, it does. It does.
I'm usually on top of it with my tasting notes. I don't want to brag or anything, but
okay, pretty neat.
I know you weren't a huge fan of the Founders KBS situation from Bardstown.
I wasn't, and that's just me.
I feel like there was one more beer one too.
Yeah, there's a couple I really wasn't a big fan of. It just had too much of a beer twinge for my liking, just because I'm not a fan of beer per se.
I mean, the nose to me is spectacular. It's very. I will say I don't get much past the. It's pretty sweet, and then you get that distillery experience with the fermentation, the match, like that kind of stuff with the fermenters.
Yeah. I have to say, though,
sugary, very sugary.
Yeah, it's really sweet, nice and sugar.
Right?
Sugary.
There you go.
But there's not, for me personally, I would drink this. I would. It doesn't really have that overwhelming beer taste. And what I say about most finished products, you got to ride that fine line.
Yeah.
If your finishing overrides the bourbon, no matter what it is, it's not good. And this one absolutely does not. I think it's done really well. I think it's very complex. You got some sugary notes there. You got some pretty neat stuff going on in there. Really, I kind of like it.
It almost reminds me of like the Demerara sugar, because I've eaten that just by itself a couple times. This is $65.
Mm-hmm.
I would, if I had the choice, if I had to go between this or the Bardstown one, I'd go with this all day. It's
me too.
Almost a third the price, and in my opinion, this is quite a bit better.
Well, and I have to speak only to my personal tastes. This one here doesn't taste like half a beer's in there, like some of them do.
That's really nice.
And so I like it.
It's got a little bit of beer influence, but not a ton.
Not a ton.
It's not like
it kind of gives it depth. It lends to the sip.
Yeah.
Rather than take over the sip, which I really, really like. All right, let's move on to the next one, pal. Here's your rye whiskey, all right? This is a little bit different. It's a little bit different. So hold on. This is Old Potrero. They're out of San Francisco. This is not sourced either. So
okay, and it's 6 years old. That's impressive.
Yep, and it's at least 6 years old, but it's made with 100% malted rye.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. So we have a few other ones over there that's malted rye. New Riff makes a great malted rye.
That's a good one, yeah.
So this is somewhat the same stuff. This one's 97 proof, and it's going to run you right about $55, which, again, not too bad of a price.
Okay. 97 proof, 97% ABV.
Mm-hmm.
No. Wait, no. Yeah, proof. Ooh, jeez.
Yeah,
I haven't even been drinking today.
What is that, 48.5 ABV?
Something. I can't math good.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
This is gnarly smelling.
It's wild, isn't it?
Like if you've... how do I relate this experience to everybody? If you've ever stood in front of like an active wood chipper as they're tossing branches in it and getting hit in the face with the wood chips, not that I've done that.
It leans almost to some pine notes. I get you there. The wood chipper, I understand where you're coming from.
Pine sap.
I really do. I mean, you have your way of putting things out there. That's for sure.
Sweet pencil shaving kind of note.
You and your pencil shaving. I don't know about that, but I get where you're coming from. But yeah, definitely. But a bright, sprucey type wood note on the nose, kind of neat.
Okay.
I'm curious. I've been looking forward to this one.
Well, okay, they got the tasty notes back here, and they're
they do.
Yeah,
I didn't even know
and
that.
so I'm not gonna pretend like I'm getting any of this stuff because I'm really not.
I didn't pay attention to that. Could I see it now? But
I get quite a bit of butterscotch. It does say brown sugar, which I could sort of see, but there's like some note in there that I'm hesitant to actually say out loud. So I got to try it one more time before
I get what they're saying on the sweetness of the brown sugar. There is some kind of a light brown sugar, possibly sweetness. There definitely is some sweetness there. I do get that hint of piney sugar, going on in there, and you got to realize that's 100% malted rye too. So there's going to be some malty notes in there, and they're not deep and dark. They're not deep malty notes like you'd find maybe in some good Scotch.
Yeah,
but they're there. They're definitely there. I do get a cherry note out of it. I definitely get that.
So I was struggling to pick up this note, and I think to me it's almost like you get the oak, you get the rye spice, you get a little bit of like a brown sugary sweetness, and then it's almost like a roasted pumpkin seed, or like if you were to take the innards out of a pumpkin and toss them on a sheet pan.
That's really good. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do them up. My initial tasting note was like landfillish.
Come on.
There was like a kind of a raunchiness to it, and I had to equate it to something that I'm not obviously not going to say like, oh, this tastes like a landfill, but it was ish.
You have a hard time
with notes, yes.
No, not at all. You don't. You have a hard time
cinnamon
finding goodness in malted.
Yep.
Scotch, of course, is malted barley. Irish whiskey's usually half malted barley and half not. Regular. This is malted rye. So it's kind of a spicy malt there. It is a little bit different. It's not muted. It's there.
Yeah.
It's ready to go, and it's right in there, right straight up and forward, right in your face.
It's almost like a brown sugar, like a root beer float kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's how.
Cream soda-ish.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, well, that's
kind of with the maltiness behind it.
Yeah, not landfill. After all, I will say this is actually really nice.
It's different. I didn't know how I'd react to it, but different. Yeah, it is different. All right, moving on. This one here, 2XO. A lot of people know about it. Dixon Dedman, he was from Kentucky Owl. Now he moved over and he started this 2XO brand, right? So this is the second release, the Innkeeper's Blend. $100, and it is 104 proof.
The first was the Phoenix, right?
Phoenix.
Yep.
Yeah, the Phoenix Blend.
I wasn't a huge fan of that.
We never did get it in a video. Trent had it at his house. I had a tiny sip of it.
I bought it?
Yeah, it's at your place.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's there. I had a little one. I wasn't a huge fan either, but again, little. I need to spend more time with it, but we never did get it on a video. So let's check this one out, though. It's here. I really don't know much about this one at all, but
the nose is actually pretty nice.
I really, really like the nose.
It's like a macerated cherry on like an oak plank or something.
Yeah. I don't know. You had me at the macerated cherry. I was like, yes, and then you said what?
Oh, like an oak plank, like if you were to mash up
plank.
If you were to mash up some cherries.
So you had the macerated cherry, and then you just kind of mashed them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Onto an oak plank.
Yeah. Toss it out in the sun, make some fruit leather. Something like that.
All right then.
That's a really pleasant nose, actually.
It is.
It's pretty oaky though.
Yeah, it is. It is. I get you because now this has been 2XO stands for 2 times oaked, right?
Yeah.
So it is double oaked. So he sources this whiskey. This is a blend of a high rye and a low rye mash bill bourbon.
Okay.
All right. So then he gets it and then he rebarrels it in new barrels that have been charred to a number 3 and a number 4 char. So that's what's in this particular blend.
I'll say I was not admittedly a huge fan of the Phoenix blend. I think this is quite a bit better because I think they're around the same price, like 90-ish, $99, maybe something like that.
$100, yep.
And this one's pretty oaky. Yeah, I like that cherry transfers to the palate, and so there's some nice sweetness. I can't figure out really exactly what from, like a candied cherry or something.
Yeah.
But it's weird because at like the tail end when it's like right here at my Adam's apple, and I almost get like those like spice drops, like that hit from like a spice drop candy or something.
It definitely has some spiciness to it.
What is
That's
that?
for sure.
That's
it's only
like
104 proof, but it's got some spice. It's got some bite to it. I find I do definitely get your cherry note for sure, and I find a little bit of a chocolatiness. All right, to it a bit, not heavy, but I do a little bit. I find it to be a little bit viscous too. I find it to be somewhat creamy. Nice. Yeah, it feels good, right? It is oaky though.
Yeah.
You definitely have that oak presence, but not overbearing and not drying. I didn't find it to be drying myself. You're more sensitive to that.
It's a little drying. It's not a ton. I think the viscosity really pairs nicely with the aspects of like that dry oak that you might get. Not something like that Maker's Mark BEP where I said it was like a shag carpet on my tongue. It's not that kind of dryness.
No,
but it's nice overall. I will say.
Yeah, it's okay. $100. $100. What do you think?
I'll give you my lineup here at the tail end.
What's your thoughts? All right, here's one I'm looking forward to giving you right here.
Yep.
Kent and I had a little bit of taste of this in Seymour. Somebody brought it along. We had a little sample in Seymour when we were down there for that bourbon event. So I know a little bit about this one already. Guys, this is the Bernheim wheat barrel proof. Now, I don't know if they're going to continue this, but I think this was what'd you say, A223, something like that. So I don't know if this is going to be continued, because I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
And did you know this is only a 51% wheat in the mash bill?
No, I thought it was quite a bit higher.
I did too. Honestly, I did, but just because of the label and everything else, I just figured it was, but no, it's 51% wheat.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's about $65. So I think a very decent price at 118.8 proof.
I wouldn't be surprised if, because the Elijah Craigs and the Larcenius are 1, 5, and 9. I wouldn't be surprised if this followed a 2, 6, 10 kind of release cycle, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. If it's coming out in June, we got a month left. We should know here maybe in the next couple of weeks what the deal is with that. Yeah, and I had a little sip of it already, and I was really excited in Seymour when I tried it, and just getting this nose, man, it's a huge butterscotch hit for me on the nose. Yep. Beautiful sweetness, roundness, even on the nose, it's rich. It's lovely. Interesting. The nose is definitely lovely. I will say that. It's aeration in there. It's a little spicy for me.
It is a little bit. It's lovely, though. Let me ask you this, because this kind of speaks to me a little bit. It's not 100% sweetness up front.
No.
So what I'm kind of feeling with that sip, I get some very nice wholesome baked bread note in there.
I can see that.
You know, and there's a little bit of toffee there too, but followed up by like baking spices such as clove and allspice.
I like that clove note, yeah.
You know, something like that. Something that's a little bitey, a little bit assertive,
yeah.
on the baking spice notes.
Because there's definitely something spicy I'm getting at the tail.
I find there's some really, really nice depth of flavor in here. I really do. And again, this one is, to me, the viscosity is very nice on here as well.
I mean, when I saw that this was coming out, I was like, okay, you know, another triennial release from Heaven Hill. Like, what's this going to look like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually pretty pleasantly surprised. It's like $65.
$65.
I'd be a buyer again.
No, I don't think it's a $100 bottle.
No.
I don't. But I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. I really was. And I when I tasted it in Seymour, I looked at Kent and I was like, I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it. And I think it brings a lot of good sweetness, but it also has some very lovely depth of flavor with that bread note and then the baking spice, the allspice, the clove, those kind of things in there too. I think it's great.
It's almost like I'd have to sit with it for a while, and I usually don't say that I would need to sit with something for a while. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't want to say I'm overwhelmed by all the directions that I feel like that's going, but there's definitely some different like forks in the road that you could take with different profiles in this one.
Yeah.
It develops pretty nicely. The palate's really nice.
Yeah, especially for the price.
Yeah, really interesting.
Speaking of that, give us your roundup. What you think of the grouping that I put out in front of you today?
We're doing like, would I buy, would I not buy?
Yeah, good, bad, buy, not buy.
So I'm lucky enough because you bought all these pretty much, except for this one. Again, thank you, Alex, for sending this.
Absolutely.
I would buy this. Despite my landfill comment, I would also buy this.
You would?
I would.
I was on pins and needles.
I like it. It does have like
a
pumpkin-y kind of note in it. I'm actually digging it.
It's different.
Yeah.
And it's unique.
If you want a unique, different rye, like, by all means, that's really good. Especially for the price. It's what, $40 bucks?
$55.
That's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
This was an improvement over the Phoenix blend. I'm still not a buyer at $100. I'd be a buyer at like 70, 75. And then I'm a buyer on this one all day long.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I'm a bit surprised for myself because I basically liked all of them. And why I'm surprised is this one finished in beer barrels. That is the very first release of anything finished in a beer barrel that I just didn't go, actually I gave away my KBS Bardstown to Justin, who's one of my best buddies, who's a big beer guy. It works right into his palate, not mine. That's really good. $65, I think that's a perfect price point for it too. Very, very good. I like this rye just because it's unique, it's different, and has a good price point. I like this as well, but I just feel it's overpriced just a little bit. I think it's got some good notes, but $100 a little bit of a stretch. I'm really into this Bernheim, and I can't wait for the next one.
So we're in 100% agreement on this one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shocking.
Cool.
Hey, all right, that's all we got for you today. If you liked the video, let us know in the comments. And we like to do this every so often. We get a ton of stuff in. We like to get the information out to you folks. If you have some you'd like for us to include on some future shows, please let us know. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly at all times. And we'll see you next time right down here with Trent and I in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.